Yeah. Looking at some of the group matches or pool matches for the basketball men, coach, I really love the statement you said. By the end of us coming to the group or pool stages, you will be able to determine who is able to go all the way, get into the semis and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to pick your brain. So pool A for the men pools, we had USIU, Kabarak, Embu and TUM. So what did you notice if you watched some of these matches, and what are your sentiments
In that
about
pool,
it?
I watched two games.
Yeah.
I watched the game between USIU and Kabarak and TUM, and USIU played well. Although Kabarak took them to the wire, but the only thing is they made USIU won is USIU plays in the league.
Yeah.
Kabarak doesn't. Because the teams that are playing, the universities that are in Nairobi have got an upper hand since most clubs are in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So they get exposed by playing league.
Yeah.
But the teams that are outside Nairobi, they don't play in the league and they don't get exposure. So
Yeah.
USIU there, I know will qualify to the quarters and to the semi.
Definitely.
And
Who else are you looking at within that group to go in as second to USIU?
Kabarak, depending on how they took,
Yes.
maybe Kabarak, depending on how they play.
Okay. We will be doing a breakdown of some of those stats also later on as we finalize. So, but let's move on to Pool B. We had JOUS, we had TTU, we had MKU, and we had Strathmore. Number one thing, yesterday when we were streaming, we had a lot of fans from JOUS really requesting us, let's put that show, that match on live and so on and so forth. So JOUS members, please subscribe to some of our platforms and let's hear from you about that. So coach, back to you on that Pool B. What's your take on it?
On that take, I loved the game yesterday between Strathmore and MKU.
Yeah.
It went to the wire.
Yeah.
Nobody expected MKU to take Strathmore. Strathmore have been the national champs of KUSF
Several times.
They have gone to the finals of the National League for KBF. So nobody expected. And trust me, MKU was the darling of the fans.
Yes.
And just like you said, I was met some students from Masema, they were complaining, how come they're not in the TV? I told them it's only that we can only take one game at a time. We can only take, and these games are played concurrently. You see here 2 games and USIU, so we cannot pick. We just pick the one that is there and the one that starts early.
Yeah.
But that pool, I can say, Strathmore and MKU will sail to quarterfinals.
Okay. I would want to hear from Evans and Elizabeth. How did the game between Strathmore and MKU, how did that play out? Because they're on the other side of the match also just taking account of what's happening. I would want to hear from what they have to say there. So coach, let's move on to Pool C. We had Muranga, we had Anu, we had Laikipia, and we had Kisii. What's your sentiments on how this pool looked like? Or if you watch any match, what was your thoughts?
I watched Muranga, they had a blue uniform,
Yes.
and they also shocked me. Because they took a team to the wire and they lost Kisii.
Yes. It was our last match that we streamed before we ended yesterday. Yes.
And it was good. Even a team like Kisii, I never expected that team to have good players. There's 2 boys I saw that are very good.
Yeah.
And trust me, getting an opportunity and an exposure with such a kind of more, basketball will go to the next level.
Okay.
And that pool, I can say, Muranga and Kisii might sell to the quarterfinals. The third team, I'm not sure, depending on how they perform.
Yes.
Because they pick the best 2 losers amongst the 3 pools.
Okay. So, coach, it's also an interest of mine. I'm sure when you're looking at the game, we depend on some individual brilliances. Yes. So, what do you look for in such games, for example, taking account of Kisii and Muranga, where you noted a few good players? What do you look out for, and what did you notice on those boys?
What I noticed is that there is so much work to be done by the National Federation, Coaches Commission, and Referees Commission. If this a university like Muranga, Kisii, they could get a coach to be second there.
Yeah.
These boys will go to the next level because as they were playing and they didn't have, like Kisii, they didn't have a coach.
Yeah.
It was a former student, and I think a student who was injured.
Who was acting as the
coach. And
yeah.
I think he doesn't know. It needs somebody who's been there. So if Federation or the Coaches Commission and the referees could take a coach seconded to those universities,
yeah,
the game ball will be different. And trust me, they'll go to the next level.
Yeah.
Because most of the best coaches are based in Nairobi. And not all coaches can get the opportunity to coach all these teams.
Not
but
everyone.
If we can go to, with all these services, they go to Mashinani, they go to Muranga, they go to Kisii, they go to JUICE, they go to Maseno. Basketball will be very interesting.
As it is what you're trying to do with Black Boy and Kenyatta University, be able to go down to those levels, do those live matches, give us a good account of what's happening down there. I think we'll be able to take account and archives on areas of improvement, so we can always
go to the next
check
level
on that. So I would not want to be biased here, and we had the women of pools also happening. I think most of this also happened at USIU and KU. I don't know what your take is on Pool A. We had ZTEC, we had Chuka, Maseno, and JQuad. I think some of these matches happened here yesterday.
Yes, they happened.
Did you get to watch any?
I get to watch. Of course, ZTEC being the defending champs, they won, of course, all their games. What gave me a shock or made me be more impressed was the Maseno. Maseno beat JQuat, and that made them qualify as number 2.
Yeah.
Then JQuat beat Chuka.
Then Chuka beat that much happened in the morning.
Then
yes,
Chuka
they were
beat
more
Maseno.
animated that way. Yes.
So you see, all those 3 teams lost 1 game, 2 games, and won 1.
Yeah.
So they had to go and divide and get goals for and goal against. So by chance, Maseno was number 2, JQuat was 3, and Chuka was 4. But you could see even from the players, Chuka, they were like, why did you not go? Because that one was the difficult one. But ZTEC got, because they won, and every time they were playing, this other team was stepping up. It was not just a one-sided game. Yeah. They had to work to the wire. But it was a good pool.
Okay. Moving on to Pool B, we had TUM, we had UOE, we had Muranga, and we have Strathmore. Was this pool on our end, or it happened at USIU?
It happened at USIU. Yes. From the results I got, and I watched 1 game, Strathmore, of course, had an advantage because they won all the game. Yeah. And then Muranga came in as number 2. Yeah. So Muranga are supposed to play ZTEC in the quarters. But the other game, TUM, I saw TUM were good, but they were very short. They were beaten with the size of this, especially Strathmore. Okay. And what I also saw on that one, they lacked exposure. Okay. Because some conferences, these university conferences, they are very few. They are 3 or 2 players. So you play the 3 matches only, and then you are in the nationals. Then nationals, you come, you play the big ones, they hit you, then your season is over. Yes. So this is something that I'm requesting the executive of KUSF. If they can take these games more, and they even make 3 teams per conference, it can be good and competitive. Yeah. Yes. Because that is something I've also noticed with some of the sports around. You realize teams like Strathmore in National League matches playing every other weekend. Kenyatta University, handball, volleyball, hockey, football, all of them are already in the National League. So when here, this is a normal weekend for them. For some of the teams coming from the county, this is a match in after 2 months. After 2 months, so the difference is really clear in that bit. I wanted to move on to the final pool for the women. We had KC, we had USIU, we had Kabarak, and then we had TTU. From the results, what's your take, and what do you think? From the results, I know USIU will have an edge, and will win all their games, their quarters. And but there's an interesting game happening. Yes. I'm hoping again, Elizabeth and Evan, be on standby. Let us know what's happening on some of these platforms, and then we can move on. So that way, I think the number 2 mostly might be KC. And you know one funny thing? Masinamuliro was number 2 in the Western Conference, but they didn't come. Yes. So KC was number 3. So by virtue of being number 3, they had KC came. Because most have a policy that if you're not number 1, you don't go. But you can imagine how that place is perfected. And it is easier to make it that way, so that we know how it goes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, but so most of the pool matches are coming to an end. So I want to hand it over back to the studio. We'll continue on this other end, and then maybe they join us later on for what's happening. But from this point, I don't know if Evans and Elizabeth are ready so that we can hand over to them. But until we get that go-ahead coach, so let's just have a run of some of these results. USIU men and Kabarak, USIU beat them 48-26. This result could have been more, or this is an okay result? That's an okay result, although might have been more. But I said Kabarak were good. Yes. It's only that they lack exposure. But would have gone more. But USIU was normally the eventual winners. Okay. 2 men, 34, Embu men, 47. What's your take on this figure? That one could go either way. Yes. Because those teams are almost the same part, and they don't have that exposure. That could go either way. Yes. It's the team that will make less turnovers that took the day. Okay. 2 women, 16, and then UOE women did 29. Any thought on this result? It's a low scoring. It's a low scoring, but that one UOE has an advantage because when I used to coach University of Nairobi, UOE used to have very good athletes. Okay. Basketballers who run, because I think because of the region they come. Yeah. So they were very athletic. Yeah. So UAE normally takes an advantage till they reach quarters of the semis. then they bow out.
Yes.
But normally there UOE takes always an advantage.
Okay. I want us to get back to some of these results, but at this particular moment, I want to hand over to Evans and Elizabeth on the field side. Let's hear an account of what's happening. Then I have Coach here. Yes, Coach. We will come back and still discuss more on some of the results of the national basketball game. Keep it Kenyatta University TV and radio. Keep it Black Boy and B Plus Sports. Follow us. Keep engaging with us. Just from a match from Jacob and Marcelo and another wholly contested match, Anu and MKU. Coach, let's start from here. What has happened? Because you went out a little bit and you came back really animated also now that played out. What's your take?
Okay, my take, it was a very good game.
Yes.
It went to the wire, and like what people expected. But Anu carried the day. Anu won by 55 and MKU 53. The game could go either way.
Yes.
But Anu took the day. Like I just told you, the upper advantage is because they play the league. Anu is in the Premier League.
Yeah. I
can count the teams that are here in Premier. Anu, Premier, Strathmore Premier, SAU Premier, and then Division 1. We've got JQuat, we've got KU, we've got ZTEC, and KC.
Okay.
Those are for the men. So you see, that gives them an upper. But that game went to the wire.
Yes.
Because you find like Anu, we are the two top scorer who scored 14 points each. That is Dennis Opio and Hamswell.
Maxwell Mito.
And
it's Ezekiel Joke. 40. No, it's just number 40. Justin Opio, yes.
Yeah, Justin Opio.
Number 55, Maxwell Mito. Sorry, thank you for.
So that is something that shows, and like I told you, these game standards have gone up.
Yeah.
And like before, Anu would have beat this team by 40 points, 20 points. But now, unlike we see, it's 1 point,
a point different.
That means
that was really interesting
and very painful for MKU. Till I had to go out and see for myself. So to me, I can say I thank God the standards of the game are going up, especially basketball. I don't know of other games. I know football also is a game that is followed by many.
Yes,
but for basketball, I can say the standards have gone high.
Okay.
Because this is the only first time MKU has come to the nationals and are reaching this level.
At that point,
to me, a lot in the caution, but in my heart, MKU
have won really big time.
Yes.
Yeah, so coach, you've mentioned a couple of teams who are in the Premier League, and it's interesting to see Strathmore and Anu as the only other side. USIU are in Division 1.
No, USIU in Premier.
Are also in Premier.
Men and women Premier. ZTEC is only women Premier. KU is Division 1. Both men and women. JQuat is Division 1, men and women.
Okay.
So Anu, Strathmore, USIU, men and women Premier. ZTEC is only women. The men are in Division 1.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was interesting because in the men quarterfinal, we had USIU coming out on top of Pool A. They were facing Embu, who are in the runners-up for Pool D as the best losers from their Pool D. Did you see this match, or have you gotten the results of some of those?
That one I've not. I was just trying to get the results because it's been
happening. Okay. Then the other team also who made it was Joust and Kabarak in the other men's quarterfinal. Oh, I'm sorry. These are matches which are taking place at USIU. So it explains why we still haven't gotten it. But we are working on it, and then we'll be giving that out. The quarterfinals happening at KU. We had Strathmore facing Muranga. Do you know the details about this?
This one I know Strathmore won, and they won with, I think, 7 points. I'm not sure of the scores, but they won with 7 points. Because I heard the coach for Strathmore saying that this is the only tournament he has come and he sweats to win.
Yeah.
He doesn't win like usual. He sweats to win. So you're saying either his boys are taking two things reluctant, or the other teams have stepped up. I told him, to me, the other team have stepped up.
Yeah.
We just need to appreciate and work harder.
Because you would think a match between Strathmore and Muranga would be an easy match for a KUF Premier League team, yes?
That's true.
Definitely the match which has just ended and we went out to look at what's happening was the match between Anu and KU. And I think you've said your sentiments over and over at how much that has excited you.
Yes.
So what are we looking at in the semi-finals at this particular point?
Now
we only know what's happening in KU.
I know Strathmore will qualify. I know USIU. I know Anu.
Coach, is there a chance we can come back and we are really disappointed USIU have not beaten them? Are you foreseeing something?
I'm still foreseeing with the type of level and standard. I'm seeing something can happen.
Okay.
Because even now I've seen the JQuat have beaten Maseno in the women's quarters. And at the pool games, Maseno had beaten JQuat.
Yeah.
But you see now JQuat have stepped it up. So they won 42-23. So that means also the same is for the ladies. I've seen Zitek playing Strathmore. Yes. You playing J-Quads.
Okay. So I'm hoping Elizabeth and Evans on the other end, you guys are taking account of some of these quarter final matches between the men and the women side. What's happening at KU and what's happening at USI. You will help us and coach get a better perspective of that so that we know how that goes. Coach, another thing that is also interesting is the need to make sure the kids are growing in the sport as early as now, getting the right basics. How can that be improved with sports such as KUSF and even at individual university level?
What I think if they get good personnel in terms of coaches and referees, because you can get a good coach, but if you don't get referees that gives you the rules, it will be difficult. Yeah. But if you get good referees and coaches, it will help you get good results. Yeah. So my statement still remains that if we can get coaches attached to this university, especially the ones that have come here, because I know the ones that were down there, they don't have that opportunity. And I know even them paying might be hard, especially public, but we can get just a sponsor. That will take us to the next level. And these people will improve because it's just coaching and the fundamentals. Okay. If they get that, they will be home and dry. All right. They will be home and dry.
There's another thing I appreciate I'm having to learn every other day. So we receive these results in form of the basketball score sheet. And I was asking, so coach, how do I know who has scored more? How do I count between the different levels and periods? So maybe just from what we can see, definitely we have two sides where we have to write the players from the different teams up and down.
Yes.
Yes.
You have team A and team B. Team A normally sits on the left side of the table, and team B sits on the right side. So team A is the one that will have a lighter color, preferably white. And then you put the names of the teams and the numbers there. If they have bigger numbers, you put it on the side where the lighter number. And then we have running scores. Yeah. Of course, you put venue, date, the level of competition, place, and the referees. Normally it's 3 referees, but at this level, I'm seeing they're checking with 2.
So it's okay to do with 2 or 3?
Yes, it's okay. It's allowed 2 or 3. Okay. But for international standards, they normally want 3 referees. Okay.
So how do you differentiate the 3 referees for basketball, for example?
Okay. Normally when you ref 3, that means you have got 6 eyes. Yes. You should not miss calls, and the game should run smooth. You have what we call game management and game control, but game flow. Yes. So there's game control, but you have to let the game flow. But the game is for the fans. So normally 3 referees, there's no excuse. Because these are 6 eyes. 2, you can give a leeway and say that one I didn't see, I was tired, sun. But because I know this level and the KUSF, they're used to. Because also it's expensive to use 3 referees. I know. You pay more. Yeah. And you see when it comes to us now and the institutions, there's where they cry.
To minimalize on how much you spend, but get the most out of it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any superiority in the 3 referees that you have, like a center on the side, or every referee is equal in a basketball match?
Normally in a basketball match, we have 3. The first one is a referee, but now they've changed it to a chief crew. They call him a chief crew. He's the main guy who makes decision. Anything that is not within the rules or has to make a decision is the chief crew takes. If the game goes bad, he takes the blame. If there's fracas, fans, he takes the blame. Yes. So it's the chief crew who has to make sure the game finishes and abide. Although the duties are the same once they start, because we have a chief crew, we have a first referee and a second referee. There's a first umpire and a second umpire. Normally the chief crew will start at the center, will toss the ball. Yes. The first umpire will be the one near the table on the right. The second umpire will be away from the table on the left side. And that's how we take. And then we see here on the score sheet, we've got quarters period. Yeah. We've got period 1. You see period 1 was Anu that scored 11 and MKU 14. Then the period 2, Anu scored 10 and the other one 14. Okay, period 3, 12 and 9. Then period 4, 27 and 16. Yeah. Then you add up all those scores, they give you the final tally. Okay.
And in favor of
Anu. Then you write the team name.
5, yes.
Yes, and the time the game finished. Because you normally write the time the game started. Okay. So this one is the old score sheet, but there's a new score sheet where you write the time where the game finished. Okay. So that you as a person, you see this game took how long.
It's definitely clear there's a time when it starts for every.
Yes.
Okay. Referee details also on it, competition name. All these are very clear. I'm seeing we have to also sign at the end of every.
So after this, the table officials, the scorekeeper and the timekeeper. Normally in international, you sign the score sheet.
Okay.
But here, because of payments way, you put your name.
Yes.
Because if you sign, somebody will claim that was my signature.
Okay.
So you put your name, then you sign. Then the second umpire is the one to start signing. Then the first umpire on a 3-man. Then the chief who signs the last one. Okay. On 2-man, the referee, the umpire who signs, then the referee signs. Once the referee signs, even if a team is protesting, that game is over. It's over that way. Yeah, but before he signs, the captain can go and protest. Sorry. Is there a situation where also team managers or coaches have to sign also to affirm that that's the result? Basketball is only the captain if he's protesting. Yeah. And that's why we have 4 sheets. Okay. We have the white one that goes to the organizers. The blue one also can go to the organizers. Pink goes to the winner. Yellow goes to the loser. Okay. So in this situation, you find white will go to KUSF. Blue will go to the coordinator of basketball. Yeah. Pink goes to the winner. Yellow goes to the one who lost. So in case you have a problem, scores or fouls, you come to the coordinator. He has his copy. You will check and confirm. Then takes to the executive. Then they have a jury. Okay. They put a jury to it to make a decision. Are all these systems that are in place for this particular KUSF, all these are systems we work with for the National League? National League, but we try to make them have KUSF. Because that's the way to go. Yes, because we need to train the students as early as now, as the right way to play or responsible way of structuring this. So at Black Boy and at KUTV or Kenyatta University in general, we are really big on the numbers. So this is where we are trying to tabulate all these figures, not only for this particular time, even past after the KUSF finals that are happening at the moment. We'll be able to track who was the top scorer, how much did you score, how can you tabulate all these numbers. So coach, maybe before we go, how can we figure out who was the most improved player or who was the most influential player from the 2 teams and the score sheet that we are looking at? Okay. Thank you so much. On the referee score sheet, it's very difficult to tabulate that. We normally have a statistics, a score box. Yes. That one you can tabulate. And like there's one that was put here between KC versus Kabarak University. Go on, coach. I'm trying to get it also. That one. So we are still on. We are trying to get the right match sheet so that as we are breaking it down, we are very clear. And again, we are very keen on the data. We have a perfect platform where these figures will be. So be on the lookout even for these games. You want to start it at the level of the university, take it to the high schools, and even in future, we hope to get it to the federation and even the overall body in how we tabulate it. So coach, back to it. Yes. So for the statistics and for more information, you can go to www.basketballke.ke. www.basketball.ke. You can get more information and findings about basketball university and league. Yes. Now that one statistics you have there, that is the box score. It breaks down scores after every 5 minutes. It breaks down fouls. You see, like for example, Kisi is the team A, right? Yes, it is. Then we've got the name number 4. Number 5 is Lavin Otieno. Number 6. The number that have stars, that means they were the first players that started the game. Okay. The first 5. All right, those who have stars. Then you come to the next column is min. That is the minutes. Yes. The number 4. The total amount of minutes played or average minutes played. Total number of minutes that player played. Like this one, Tracy, played 10 minutes, 12 seconds. The other one played 33 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay. So that is the minutes you play. Then we've got the next one, is field goal. FG is field goal. Then you have missed and attempt. Then we've got percentage. So you see like the first one, he never attempted any field goal. He never made field goal, yes. The next one, attempted 6 and made 3. So that is 50%. Yeah. Now you go to the next one, 2-point field goal. Okay. You see the first one. I'm taking notes now, yeah. The first one, Tracy did not attempt anything at all. But the second one attempted 1 out of 2. No, out of 2. So that means 50%. So for the 2 points, she attempted 2 and made 1. Yes. So the next column is 3 points. 3 points is the arc you shoot outside at the point of the 8. Yes. Of course, the first one did attempt anything. The second one attempt 4 and made 2. Yes. 50%. Then the next column is FT. FT is free throw. Free throw is when you're taken to the line to shoot uncontested. It's against fouls. Yes. So you find trying to make an attempt at goal. The first one up to the number 11, Joyce. No, number Safira 15. Ismail, number 13, who attempted 2 and made 0. So his percentage is 0.
Yeah.
But number 15 attempted 6 and made 2. Percentage is at 3.3.
Yeah.
So when you analyze, then the next column is rib. Rib is rebound. We have
Yeah.
the offensive rebounds and defensive. You count the ones. The offense are the ones that you get it on your playing defense, and on playing offense, and the defensive is when you play the defense.
Okay.
Then the next column is the S is the assist.
Okay.
If I get the ball, I pass to
So
you,
we
you score
constantly
direct.
have to also monitor who is helping
Yes.
the other person
Yes,
score.
to score. So if I pass the ball to you direct, you score without your normal dribble, normal first play. That is what we call an assist.
All right.
Then the next one is turnover. Turnover is when you turn the ball without attempting.
Throwing and then
Yes. Then we have steal, it's ST.
Yeah.
Then we have block shots. Anytime you come, I block you, it's a block shot.
Okay.
Then we've got the next column is PF. They get the difference.
So, Coach, you're saying these are all statistics that we are able to get at www.basketball.ke.
Yes, that one you can get all that.
Okay.
Yes.
And how are we going about getting all these stats? Because this is, in my perspective, I would feel is tedious. But also in my perspective as a person interested in sport and taking analysis on it, I also feel I can make a better judgment on how the game went through this information. Maybe you can shed light on how we are going about this, and I hope Evans and Elizabeth on the other end are also stand by to let us know on what's the way forward with some of the matches that are still in play or we are anticipating for the day. So, Coach, yes.
So these stats, normally it's tedious, but it will help you. As a coach, if I get this, I know my best shooter is number 5.
Yes.
So she has 15 almost all. So I will train her more. And then this other one who makes 0 out of 2 out of 0, I will keep on the line more to start making. But this one is just perfect.
It's also a way of noting if someone attempted 0 on the field goal, attempted 0 on the 2 points, attempted 0.
That means this player was playing safe.
Yes.
They never wanted to attempt anything.
Yeah.
They were playing safe. And
so
that's not good for the game.
a way to also gauge on the impact of particular players in the game.
That's true.
On the other hand, if they got 50%, attempted 4, made 2 each and every other time, you also get to know the interest of the strongest and how to.
And then with this, I can notice this player is very good at choosing. She does not just attempt often. She has a certain angle, because there's another stat when you look down. You see there's a certain angle she scores more. So you as a coach know that when my player goes on the right side, she scores more than on the left. So I'll make my players on the right side for her to score. And I know. And when you go at the last column, you find points. The second one scored, the first one scored 0.
Individual points per player counted well.
So if you scored 0, the second one scored 8, 2. Then all those points add up to that 36. Then when you go down, you see there is scoring by 5 minutes interval. You see there's Q1, that's the first quarter. The first 5 minutes, Kisi scored 14 and Kabarak scored 2. The second 10 minutes, they scored 14, 2 points. Because that's the difference. And this one, they scored 2, so that's 0. So that means
another way also of gauging the strength of.
You will even know when your players are tired, because you will find on the third quarter they score less. That means the players are tired.
Because like in this situation, I can see in quarter 3, Kabarak really improved. At a point where they were only doing 2-2, 6-6 in quarter 1 and 2, they were able to do 10 and 19. And then leading into the fourth, they did 27, 33 out of 36 by Kifi.
So yes, that means that they are playing well.
Okay.
Now when you go down, you come. Now the key thing now for you to check points from turnover. Kisi, when you go, you turned over the ball. The other team got the ball. Did they make a direct basket?
Okay.
So the points Kisi made from turnover is 9. Okay. The points Kabarak made from turnover is 10. Yeah. So that means Kabarak's points on turnover is higher than Kisi.
Okay.
So if Kabarak plays better defense, their rate of scoring is higher than Kisi. So Kisi, they score if they go direct and score. But Kabarak on a turnover, they score more.
Okay.
So for a coach, that one knows
also
this is more a defensive team than the other one. They score, but they don't play defense.
Okay.
Then you go points in the paint. Paint is there. There's D and the semicircle.
Yes.
Kisi scored 16, Kabarak 20. So that means Kabarak either have tall players or they use the paint more.
Yes.
So for me as a coach, I know I'll not foul Kabarak so much on the paint.
They are stronger in that area.
Yes. Then it's second chance points. We take a shot, we shoot, we miss, we get the rebound. We score again.
From
Kisi scored 6, Kabarak scored 5. That means Kisi was scoring on the second point chance better than Kabarak. Then first break points, you attempt, you miss, you get the ball, a player goes, I give a quick one.
Yes.
Kisi scored 10.
I'm seeing LeBron and Luka doing this a lot now in the NBA league.
Yeah. Yes. So Kisi have 10, Kabarak have 16. So me as a coach, I know Kabarak have got faster players than Kisi from these stats.
All right.
so that every time we go, somebody has to balance the court. Otherwise, they'll kill us.
Okay.
And I know if you get the rebounds, my work is to start moving. I know you pass to me. This is something we click in training. That's why LeBron gets the rebounds.
Ready.
Neville goes. Or Neville gets the rebounds, then LeBron goes.
Okay.
Then you see the last time is bench points. The people who came from the bench, who didn't start. Kisi scored only 2. Kabarak scored 8. So that means Kisi have got good players, 5. The bench they don't have.
They don't have
a strong bench. Any 5 that are brought, they perform.
The performance improves.
So Kabarak has got a better bench personnel and scoring than Kisi.
Okay.
So that one helps you. Then you go to the next one now. The biggest lead Kisi took is 19. Kabarak took 0. So Kabarak never led.
No particular point.
But Kisi, they were leading, they were first 20.
Okay.
Biggest score run, Kisi made 12-0 without Kabarak scoring or taking a time. Okay. Kabarak took 14-0.
Yes, and that was in the final quarter.
Yes.
The match. It means they came to life way late.
Then you see lead changes. How many times did they change? No time they changed. That means Kisi led throughout. Time tied. They tied once. That shows that Kisi and Kabarak tied the games once.
Okay.
Then time leading. Kisi led for 39 minutes and 48 seconds. Kabarak never led.
Pretty much the whole match.
Yes. So you see this one, as a coach, with these stats, I can plan my training, plan for next week. If I'm supposed to play next games, I will use this to train and plan my training plan. So I know that now I need to work more on what, I need to emphasize on what, I need to give them conditioning, I need to make them jump, I need them to move their feet.
Okay.
So this one will analyze your training and your performance.
So coach, is this shared with every team after every match, or
at times they share, but the problem is some coaches don't understand it, can't tabulate it, can't know what to give the players. Because this one me at tabulate, I see this player of mine scores, I'll make a score. So if we are making on this, why should we take a 3 points? Why don't I bring the ball to you? You score there. Because you score, that is where. Because you cannot stop what is working. You see at times teams do mistake. You stop what was working and go to what is not working. You go score here till they stop it. Now start shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you offering such kind of training? And are we at Black Boy, B Plus, or KUTV or Kenyatta University in general in a position to offer?
Yes, we offer through Black Boy, and there's one person called Victor is keeping that, and another one called Okwiri and statisticians. They are very good. That is their speciality. So they are there.
Because even with the real-time updating of results is something that is also happening in that. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So with the stats, when you want, we can hook you up with that guy called Victor, or Black Boy can take you through, and they go through.
Okay.
This one helps a lot. Plan, know a game, know where you need to step up, where you don't need to step up, and the next training session.
On my end, I'm happy to say the Department of Sports Management and Recreation is also offering these opportunities in certificate, diploma, certificate, and even PhD level. So again, through any of the contacts that you'll be able to get, reach out to us if you have an interest, you're a coach, and you need to tabulate some of these results for the betterment of your team.